now to understand the impact is Dev Garg. He's Vice President of the Indian Rice Exporters Federation. Mr. Garg, thanks for making the time. Now, with the US threatening this 25% tariff on countries trading with Iran, payments already getting delayed, how materially has this affected basmati rice shipments to Iran, at least so far?
Currently, the threat by the US president is not so material, but the situation on ground in Iran is concerning.
Right.
Because there is a complete breakdown.
Vikram found the perfect package in seconds, so he could spend hours.
There is internet blockade, and all the protests are majorly dominated or originating from the bazaars or the markets of Iran, where most of the retail shops are placed. Now, Iranian importers have expressed their inability to make payments or to honor their commitments. This has led to a huge pile-up of payments worth 2,000 crore rupees due to Indian exporters. You have to understand the context behind this. Iran is a credit-driven market. Most of the exports that go out of India to Iran go on a credit term of about 4 to 5 months. Now, this situation is further exacerbated by the fact that due to the liquidity crisis that we have seen in the past as well, there was a crisis in Iran during 2011-2012 when payments were delayed up to 1 year. But as we know about food, food is something which always finds its way. Even in countries where there is a civil war like Yemen and Syria, we see these temporary disruptions that are there in place, but sooner or later, situation improves, payments start coming in, and the trade continues. So the trade does not anticipate as of now that in the short term, definitely there has been a huge impact. Because if you look at the total stocks that are lying idle at the ports, at the Bandar Abbas port and the Chabahar port of Iran, and even at the Kanda and Mundra port of India, we see that about 50,000 to 100,000 metric tons of rice is lying idle, because there has been a communication breakdown with the importers overseas, and there is a loss of confidence.
Right.
But it is a wait and watch period. We cannot pass a definitive decision right now that what is going to be the impact or how this will impact in the long term. In the short term, definitely, as on today, everything is on a wait and watch mode. Everything is on a standstill.
But given the payment risks, Mr. Garg, given the payment risks and the price decline of 5 to 8 rupees a kilogram, I'm wondering if Indian exporters are now going to cut back on Iran contracts, or are they going to find alternative markets to absorb this kind of shock?
Indian exporters have consistently been looking at new markets, because this year we have become we have become the largest producer of rice in the world. Our production has surpassed even China to produce 150 million metric tons of paddy. This is huge and this is substantial. So the Indian export community has been looking for new markets for the past 1 year. We have identified 26 new potential markets which have an export potential of 1.8 lakh crores, where more exports out of India could go. But whether this should be an alternative to the Iranian market, it is too soon to tell. Because as we have seen that even in a very deep crisis,
yes,
countries usually bounce back and they start importing again.
Right.
So that rice trade being a staple commodity is not as much affected as any other item.
Fair point.
So going forward, we see we have to wait and watch the situation for the next 2-3 months.
Certainly.
Before we can pass a definitive decision on how the situation will be.
We'll be tracking that space very closely, Mr. Garg. Many thanks for joining us on India Business Report with those insights. Of